Don't stop me now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having such a good time. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, or the manager, here on this pre-match presser of sorts. Chelsea 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Nil point. Chelsea presented a heavily rotated side at Stamford Bridge. I guess looking at the San Siro on Tuesday, and many of us saw that lineup and we thought, oh dear. But I tell you what, mate, Graham Potter has flexed his squad strength and we had some feel-good stories. We had Pulisic gaining some confidence. We had the Chukwuemeka debut. We had the Broja debut goal. We had a Kovacic assist. We had a Conor Gallagher super engine demonstration. We had a brace of assists from Mason Mount. Lovely assists, both of them completely different. Boy, how his form has turned around this season in the last couple of games. Kai Havertz scored a goal as well. Ladies and gentlemen, get the microphones up. Get them up. I'm feeling good. Chelsea are unbeaten under new manager Graham Potter. Should we win on Tuesday, I may lose my shit. But this is a very, very good sign, and you should like this video and subscribe. Thank you. Hands down, hands down. Today, in this post-match presser, we're going to talk about the game, the rotated selection, the tactics, I guess, which changed throughout. This is a common theme for Graham Potter, like changing formations throughout a game, and seemingly Chelsea players, we can do it. I say we, they. I'm not doing shit. They can do it, which is very impressive. Oh yes, and in the top of the video, top of the press conference, I forgot to mention there was a lovely reception for Diego Costa when he got substituted. So how'd this go down, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it was a 4-2-3-1 for Steve Davis's Wolverhampton Wanderers. They had Diego Costa up front with Guedes, Podence. They have, of course, Mateus Nunes. They have Moutinho. They also had Adama Traore. Johnny was playing in the back line. So they had, a few absentees. But, they've still got many talented players. They've just been crap this season. And they're looking for a way to navigate. Chelsea kind of started with a back four. We started with Azpilicueta. Did we? Yes, we did. Koulibaly and Chalobah, and a kind of like a back three. Or Cucurella was in the back three. Sorry, Azpilicueta was like a right back. Cucurella was a left back, but Cucurella tucked in because later in the game he actually became a wing back. So he sort of played both positions. He kind of played all three positions: left centre back, left wing back. Cucurella and Azpilicueta played right centre back and started as a right back. In the midfield, we had remontada Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Playing next to Jorginho, who looked quite good actually. Jorginho was looking like he's becoming like maybe sort of not the first choice on the team sheet through perhaps some not great performances recently. My FPL and yours probably frustrated that Reece James did not start this game. Of course, with right back Cesar Azpilicueta, but you also had was it Pulisic kind of playing as a wing back? At times, yeah, coming back. Of course, we had Kovacic that came on, Ziyech that came on, Broja that came on, Chukwuemeka that came on, Reece James came on. We started with Conor Gallagher and Mason Mount in behind Kai Havertz as the lead striker. So they were all the players. It was a weird, because we changed formation so much throughout the game, it's a little bit tricky to see, to explain to you what happened. Okay, so what happened in the first half is we battered the hell out of them, doing some scintillating combinational play, a lot of vertical tiki-taka, good like just movement and play into the offensive third, but there was no finishing. Mount missed a chance, Pulisic missed a couple of chances. I was worried about his confidence, but then he forced a really good save from Jose Sarr, and there was a lot of like wobbliness, I think, which is, I guess, B team vibes that haven't played that well together. Like, I get it. Everyone's sort of frustrated. Gallagher, by the way, I'm looking at who scored here for my metrics and stats and stuff. He got an 8.0 rating, an 8 rating without a goal and an assist. And he absolutely deserves that. his engine, man. How does he press? He's like N'Golo Kante. When they talked about, we might release Kante because we've got Gallagher to play in that double six. It doesn't suit Gallagher to play in a double six. He's a number 8 or a number 10. He has to an offensive 8. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of like Kante. He's not going to tackle. He's not going to intercept or time his tackles anywhere near as well as Kante, because Kante was historically good at that. But I tell you what, in terms of having an engine and pressing till the end, my word, Conor Gallagher. So, right up until the end of the first half, and I'm talking the end of the first half, the dying embers, the dying seconds, in 2-minute stoppage time, there was 2-minute stoppage time, and in the second minute of stoppage time, Mason Mount keeps the ball on the right-hand flank after a corner, a set piece, plays in a beautiful ball, making an excellent assist for what was a wonderful finish, header, from Kai Havertz. Bing! Sort of looped over to the far post, which is lovely and what you want to see. Every now and again, Kai Havertz just looks absolutely mustard. He can frustrate, but sometimes he can do these absolutely clinical, deadly finishes with both feet. He's good in the air with his head, despite him not being this sort of conventional 9 player. He's really not a conventional striker. But boy, what a time to score, man, on the brink of half-time with so many chances. I don't know what our XG was at 45 minutes, but man, it was like close to a travesty how he hadn't scored. Cesar Azpilicueta playing right back, but also getting forward a lot. He was afforded the freedom of that entire right flank in their final third and was constantly putting in a lot of balls. He was probably robbed of a couple of assists himself, to be honest, man. So the second half starts, Wolves come out, they slap us about a bit, and we're like, oh, this game might not be as easy as we'd thought. But Chelsea sort themselves out, and Mason Mount doing the disguised through ball, half-turn through ball disguised pass to Christian Pulisic, who lashes it home with his left foot. Another amazing assist from Mason Mount. He has been, these last 2 games, so at home against Milan and at home against Wolves in the Premier League, so Champions League and Premier League, Mount has been incredible, and I was calling for him to be dropped before the last game because he had been very, very poor indeed. So he's seemingly back to his best. A brace of assists in this Premier League game, and both very different. One a lovely cross and one a disguised pass. What else? That's like a proper creator. He often gets criticised, Mason Mount, for not being this creative player, but that was very, very good indeed. Very shortly after that, the anonymous Diego Costa gets substituted off for Hwang Hee-chan. And he goes off on the far side and does a lap around Stamford Bridge. Lovely moment. Obviously, the whole of Stamford Bridge on their feet, chanting his name. He was doing high fives. He kind of got the goodbye that he never got, do you know what I mean, at Chelsea. So that was genuinely a lovely moment. Wolves fans won't love it because they're winning. So they're losing 2-0 at that point, and he's doing a lap of honour. Their new striker signing is like, thank you. But I get it, man. There's of course serious sentiment behind it. Bit of nastiness. Jorginho gets fouled by, is it Nunez? I can't remember, or someone, one of the forwards, one of the lads, and a bit of scrapping. And then obviously from there, from the next sort of 60 minutes to 86 minutes, Potter takes the opportunity to make a whole host of changes. He takes off Loftus-Cheek, Mount, Pulisic, Gallagher, and Havertz. He makes all 5 changes to bring on Kovacic, Broja, Ziyech. First time I think we've seen Ziyech under Potter, which is very strange. He only played a few minutes. He came on in the 86th. Carney Chukwuemeka joins Ziyech on the 86th minute to make his Chelsea debut. Remember, he's 18. We bought him. He'd only made a few appearances for Villa. He was from the Villa Academy. He stayed with the first team. He trains with the first team. He's not, I think he might have played a couple of development squad games, but Chelsea want to utilise Chukwuemeka. And to make his Premier League debut so early in the season, still, generally, seeing as he's just signed, is really, really impressive. Of course, Reece James comes on to ruin my Trippier assist FPL situation. F in the chat for that. And we think it's all over. Chelsea look like they've done a wicked 2-0 win with a heavily rotated side, keeping a clean sheet and keeping Diego Costa quiet, etc. Mateo Kovacic plays a wonderful assist to Armando Broja, who scores an excellent goal. And speaking of Diego Costa, of course, with the narrative of him saying hello, goodbye, We always talk about Broja often looking a little bit like Diego Costa in his style of play, that tenacious bully, never high octane, doesn't stop. A great ball from Kovacic. It reminds me of that assist he did to Romelu Lukaku. He has got it in him. That triangle FIFA through ball down the middle, keep it on the deck. Mateo Kovacic. He gets an assist off the bench, lovely for him. And he has a great finish. He takes it, cuts inside, bangs it. He's got it in his locker. He's a gunman. Broja will have absolutely something to say this season. Aubameyang, I don't think is going to be worried. But I tell you what, had Kai Havertz not scored that lovely header, he might be a little bit worried. Because it's kind of like rotational. All right, we're playing every 3 days. We're going to swap the strikers. At the moment, it looks like Havertz and Aubameyang. But, Broja's coming off the bench every single game, which he should be happy with. If you're getting 20 minutes every 3 days in this Chelsea team, as a young player, it's a good place to start, right? And then, when the cups do come, you start those. But tell you what, he carries on like that, man. He'll challenge Kai Havertz for that starting spot. An incredible story. The Chelsea fans were all stoked, but the Chelsea players were all over Armando Broja, celebrating with him. Chelsea had 20 shots to their 7 to go through some stats. We had nearly 60% possession, better passing. They had more dribbles, interestingly, but you'd probably put that down to Adama Traore. We had much more tackles than them, more than double. We had 25 to 12. And to be the team with that much more tackles, who's got the ball, it shows the tenacity of this side. Incredible, really, man. To go through player performances, I did want to make sure I spoke about Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, man, because he was great. He's so good with his feet. I think he made a couple of good saves. Of course, they only had 7 shots, Wolves. They generally don't score goals. But he made a couple of saves, and he's first choice, bro. He'll start in the San Siro. I'll be shocked if for some reason Mendy starts in the San Siro now. He's played 4 games in a row. Including the must-win against Milan at Stamford Bridge. Kepa is Chelsea's first-team goalkeeper, and I'm going to stop saying it every fucking video, excuse my language, but called it! Before Potter even got into the building, I said Kepa could be the first-team goalkeeper. It was a hot take at the time. I'm not saying I've got particularly good ball nolly, but that is good. Azpilicueta, really, really good in the first half. Pretty good throughout. This is the kind of game we're going to need him for. Chalobah good. More impressed with Koulibaly at the back. He seems to be settling more and more and more on this side. Jorginho was pleasantly surprised with, but it's that kind of game, if he's going to be pressed the shit out by higher quality, you would worry. But, Jorginho's got something to say. Gallagher, excellent. I wouldn't necessarily say he needs to start every game, especially because this game would have absolutely knackered him because that kid does not stop running, but absolutely so important, seemingly. Cucurella was very good as well. I'm very pleased we've got both Cucurella and Ben Chilwell. 2 quality left wing back options, left backs. And, he plays left centre back as well. Cucurella. Chukwuemeka came on, looks good. Loftus-Cheek, I think, had a very solid game. I don't think he was perhaps as awe-inspiring as he had been of late, but very, very solid performance. And Pulisic started wobbly. Looks like he's lacking confidence, understandably, because he hasn't played much, but scored a lovely goal, forced a wonderful save from Jose Sarr. I don't think he's in contention to be a starting forward yet. I still think he's behind Raheem Sterling. But all bets are off, man. You keep doing your thing. Let's see it. Havertz frustrated but got his goal, so he gets a pass. And Mason Mount was sick. Possibly my man of the match. He's got the man of the match here on Who Scored of 8.5. Of course, he got 2 assists as well. He had 3 shots on goal as well. He had an 87% pass rate, Mason Mount. And he just looks pretty darn good, man. Pleased with that. So shout out Mason Mount. You're doing a lot better, mate. What do you guys think? How you feeling? Are you feeling good? Let me know by commenting down in the comment section below. I want to see you guys talk to each other and, hash out the match. What do you think went down and how pleased are you? I'm very happy. Hope you are too. Please do drop a like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you, man and woman, very, very soon. Peace.